Hi, I'm Ryan McGuire, reporting live with Channel 2 News, and I have numerous people here today speaking on the topics of human rights of themselves and their fellow humans. Reporting live, this is Ryan McGuire on New Imperialism. Here we have Ella Smith with many opinions on imperialism. Tell us how you feel about imperialism here in China.
Often, natives are fighting the British in battle in order to defend our way of life. Many of our natives are lost to resisting the Europeans.
What are your thoughts on the Opium War?
Britain is selling opium into the Chinese market, making Britain more profitable, but now the Chinese markets and majority of the population is addicted.
In any way, is the opium affecting your culture?
Barely anyone has realized what has hit them. Also, traditional policies based on our culture are being distributed or destroyed because of Europeans' direct and indirect rule, which is just another example of how Europeans are ruining our culture.
Thank you for your time.
Can we get a jacket? I'm freezing.
No! Walk!
Why was I separating from my children?
Walk!
Reporting live with an Armenian woman whose ancestors were killed during the Armenian massacre. Hi, what's your name?
Hi, I'm Joy. My ancestors established their homeland between the Cape Sea and the Mediterranean Sea.
What was the Armenian massacre?
By the 20th century, the Russians took over control and treated them horribly. The Turks began to deport them in 1915 because they thought they were loyal to the Russians.
Where were they deported to, and how many people died?
They were forced to the desert, which is today Syria. About 800,000 people to 1.5 million lost their lives, and many others were killed right on the spot.
Thank you. Hi, what's your name?
My name's Jessica.
All right, Jessica, how do you think the soldiers felt going into war?
The young German soldiers were really excited to go into war until reality hit them.
How were the conditions of the trenches that the soldiers had to stay in?
The soldiers left their families and their nice homes to live in 10-foot deep and 6-foot wide holes. This system of warfare was called trench warfare. Their first trenches were big ditches dug in the ground, which soldiers soon called their home. They were uncomfortable, crowded, smelly, and unhealthy. They only showered every few days. When it rained, they were elbows deep in mud.
What is the concept of these trenches?
The concept of these trenches were to prevent death, but it soon caused death.
Can you explain that?
The gas attacks led to blindness, burning, and death. They suffered from shell shock, post-traumatic stress disorder, and other wounds like muscle spasms, anxiety, cramps, and loss of vision. And the shell shock affects up to 80,000 people.
Thank you.
Bolshevik takes the land, Russia is open!
Hi, what's your name?
My name is Elizabeth.
And what do you have to say about the Russian Civil War?
The Russian Civil War started in 1905, and it failed to bring good changes to Russia. And it caused many problems. There were 4 different problems. The first problem was it was unprepared militarily and technologically. A lack of leadership, and also the Tsar insisted on taking charge of armed forces. The Bolsheviks is another name for communists. The Bolsheviks were a small faction of the Marxist Social Democrats led by Vladimir Ulyanov. Their slogan is peace, land, and bread. In March 1917, a series of strikes broke out in the capital city of Petrograd. The Bolsheviks created an army, which is called the Red Army, from 1918 to 1921. The army forced them to fight against the Communist Revolution Party. Imperialism caused much destruction in Asia and created arguments for cultural and racial superiority of European people throughout the imperial world.
The inhumanity of Armenians is going to be a huge part of history.
Young German soldiers living in trenches were uncomfortable and suffered from many illnesses.
The Russian Revolution greatly impacted history.
Thank you.
I'm Brooke.
I'm Joy.
I'm Jess.
And I'm Sophie. Thank you for tuning in.
See you next week.
We'll see you next week, everybody.